I'm Steven Suko, and Travis was my little brother. He was a guy that I looked out for. I was his big brother. I was 8 years older than him, so we had a very sort of mentorship almost relationship. Travis was he was funny. He was so generous from a young age, and he loved the arts, he loved theater, and he was fascinated by the world of finance, and he would just get ideas. And when he got an idea, it was like nothing else existed until he had accomplished whatever he had set his mind to. He was so driven. It could be anything from deciding he was going to build his own computer, and then he would go out and he would do it. Or he would get in his head that an electric heated jacket was what he needed, and that's all he would talk about, that's all he would research. He would research, the best brands of electric heated jackets. He would just fixate on that. Last fall, he got the idea that going for a hike would be a lot of fun, and he, being Travis, once he got an idea, he had to see it through, and he didn't have much experience or anything, but he went out, and that was the day we got the call that he was missing. I got the call from my dad that evening, that supper time, saying that Travis hadn't come home. He had headed out to the Pembina Hills by himself, and they were worried. That was the moment where I could tell from the tone in my dad's voice that this wasn't nothing. There wasn't necessarily a reason to be alarmed yet, but I could tell something. I heard a tone in his voice that I'd never really heard before. They called us from the hills. They were going to go search for him, see what had happened, or see what was keeping him. And they found his car. His car was in the parking lot, but he wasn't around. Thankfully they called us, and we decided we were obviously gonna come help. And in your head you're making lots of explanations as to why he would take this long. Maybe we were hoping maybe he just got turned around, or maybe he just lost track of time and he was somewhere playing his Game Boy or something. But the first night we combed the trails and we yelled his name over and over. Travis, Travis, Travis. I so desperately just wanted to hear his voice. It's very strange to not know if the next curve in the trail will reunite you with your brother, or will confront you with your worst fears of finding him and he's hurt, or he's gone. And the search began just with a couple of us. It grew to some friends, some family, when it became evident that he hadn't just sprained his ankle, or he wasn't just turned around on a trail. Then the police arrived. As it got dark, more and more people started showing up. Search and rescue arrived, and a couple hours turned into a night, turned into a day, turned into 4 days of searching, walking through fields and waiting around in cars. And it really was the longest 4 days of my life. In moments like those, when you open up your Bible, you're not just reading, but you are looking, you are searching, you are expecting to hear from God. And I remember that night, the verse of the day had been, where can I go to escape your presence? In the darkest night is like day to you. That was just so our situation. Travis was in the dark, he was hidden, hidden from our sight. We couldn't find him. And to have God speak to me in that situation and say a verse that I'd read 1,000 times, but to say, this is your verse for today, and just that reminder that, the dark is impenetrable to my eyes, but God says that's not an issue for him, and that was a small mercy, but it was a mercy nonetheless. As we approached that 4th day, I think at that point we knew something had gone wrong, and the worst case scenario had become we would just never know what happened to him. We would never find him. And I think that is the most frightening moment of my life, is what would it look like to live the rest of my life never knowing what happened. And I think that uncertainty is just so hard to live with. The night before we found Travis, I had a dream, but I think it was more than a dream. Travis came to me and he never said anything, but he just embraced me, and I remember holding on to him so tight, and I remember looking over his shoulder, and there was a figure in just a few feet behind him. I just knew right away that was Jesus, and I think for me that was so healing, because it was a moment to say goodbye, and I just felt that somehow, that was Travis on his way to his heavenly home. He was with Jesus, and they were on their way, but they had to make a pit stop, and so I just thought it was so special that I could share one more moment with my brother. The next day, Travis was found, and there had been an accident on his hike which had claimed his life. After the funeral, there was people who wanted to help, who wanted to do something to remember Travis, and so the idea just came to our family. Toys from Travis. Travis loved games, loved board games, loved to break out the board games on Sunday afternoon, and so we thought, what better way to remember and honor Travis's memory than to give the gift of that Sunday afternoon playing a game with your family. And so Toys from Travis provides board games and video games for sick kids in the hospital. It will outfit a respite house that families go to when they're facing crisis. And I guess the thought that in Travis's memory we could give these games and other families would have that same joy that he had, it really started the healing process for me and provided a way of thinking about Travis and talking about Travis in a way that wasn't just sad. I have hope through Jesus Christ that I will see my brother again. It's still hard though, being designed for relationship and then to have that severed. It just feels so wrong, and it just hurts. It just pain in your stomach that doesn't go away. But hope impacts that pain, because you can say goodbye for now and actually believe it. Knowing that Travis is in heaven, knowing that Travis is living an amazing life there, and that we will see him again, it allows me to move forward. When you have those good days and you go a day or two without thinking about him or without feeling sad, you don't feel guilty. And that's grace, and that I will gratefully accept. Travis, I miss you so much, but I know I'll see you again someday. and I'm still your big brother. And that's what I would say to you.